Robert, Yogadude, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How are you, Richard? Good to see you.
And you as well, my friend. Um, how's this whole coronavirus, COVID-19 thing affecting you? What's different about your life?
Well, first of all, I mean, I'm a yoga teacher. So basically, I was one of the first ones affected by this crisis because I was teaching yoga. And of course, when it came up, I think it's now like almost 5 weeks ago. I remember being the first person, like the party pooper that posted on our yoga community of Nosara saying, hey, guys, maybe we should stop teaching. And then thankfully, my workplace also decided, thankfully for me, took that decision and said, yeah, we're going to close. And I think that was a very good decision at the time. There were many people not agreeing with me, many people sending me messages, kind of disagreeing, thinking we should keep it open and that it's very important now to offer yoga classes and all that. Where I was like, maybe it's more important to stay at home. And even more as a yoga teacher, I say, you can do yoga at home. You know, like that's the great benefit over surfing. Like you can't surf at home, but you can do yoga at home. So I was saying like, why not do that? And so the biggest effect now is that I'm teaching online now, which is something I was always resistant towards. But now I did 4 classes on the Harmony Healing Center page. They set it up for us so we can just log in and teach a class once a week. And that has been a great experience so far. So
Well, shout out to
the
them.
crisis,
That's pretty cool, man. That's good stuff.
that was because they reacted, because I was actually the poor guy when it came up that was supposed to teach Sunday morning. And I was already like, I don't feel good, but I want to be professional. So I was already worrying if I should like tell them that I'm not coming. And then they sent me a message like, yo, dude, you don't need to come. Like we took the decision, we're going to go online. And because they started so early, which I want to give a shout out to, that's why we were already ready with our online offering. And that's why we're now in the 3rd week already, or 4th week of online classes. And we had a lot of people watching, especially people that were on holidays in Nosara. And now they're taking those classes from home. So I think that's really making the best of the situation for now.
So you're stoked. You're busy. Things are good.
Yeah.
Man, that's great
Absolutely.
to hear. Are you worried in any way about losing business or losing employment or not being able to make it here because of this?
The thing is for me that, to be honest, right now, like this Corona crisis started at the end of high season. So if it would have started in November at the beginning of high season, when like all the funds from last year are getting empty, that would have been a bigger concern. But like for myself, I can only speak for myself. I had a pretty good high season. Like I had big classes, a lot of people. And so when it was stopped in March, I was in a position where I already had my savings basically for low season and for traveling home to Germany. So it didn't hit me as hard as if it would have hit me if it happened in November. Like, so
I
like
got you,
basically,
except for the traveling part.
yeah, like that's most probably not happening. So we'll see. I
Sorry,
mean,
that's a
Germany's
bad joke,
doing,
man.
no, I mean, Germany is doing great progress. I heard today they announced that they will be slowly reopening in May, and it's because of low numbers and because they reacted also very early and very well organized. So I'm optimistic that maybe in June, July, August, it will be possible to travel to Germany. But for
Mm.
now, I'm just at home. And I feel like also I'm spending less money than usually, obviously, because I don't go out eating that much. So we're just eating simple at home. But also ordering food here and there. So that's also something I really appreciate here in Nosara, that there's so much offerings going. So for me, I'm trying to make the best of it, practice a bit more yoga for myself. I started a German talk show every day with my friends in Germany to connect with them.
Nice, man.
And we had been having like over 400 viewers yesterday in our show. So like it's
What are
fun,
you
you know. I'm
talking
trying.
about?
We have different topics. Like on some days we have musicians because I played in a band, so I invite like other people I know from the music biz, and then we talk about that. And we had a day about sports where I had some like people from snowboarding, like a former pro snowboarder, and like 2 guys from soccer fan club, and then we talked about that stuff. And so we're basically just offering some entertainment. You know, it's not very deep, like it's not serious. We're just making fun there. And then on top of that, I started, because this whole conspiracy thing is getting big, on my Yogadude English channel to make videos addressing conspiracy theories, explaining why I think they lack of logic and all that. And that has been big the last 3 days, man. You can imagine like that's a lot of controversy. So I'm like
Yeah,
easy for,
sensitive subjects.
yeah. So that's more
Hey, that's
serious.
cool. I like all
Yeah,
of that stuff. That's great, man. I'm real happy for you. You sound good as well. It sounds like you're,
thanks.
I hear it your voice. It sounds like you're doing just fine. Um, on a really serious subject, do you prefer to be called Yoga Dude or Robert?
That's tricky. That's tricky. I mean, I just saw, like, funny thing. I saw this Nobody Speak documentary on Netflix about the Peter Thiel against Gawker case. Maybe you heard. It's like this free speech topic, and Hulk Hogan argument and said, like, yeah, there's this one character, Hulk Hogan, and then there's, I forgot his real name, Terry something, and so they're like different entities. So I was like, think for a moment, oh, does that also go for me? So if I say something as Yogadude, that's one thing, and then I can say something as Robert, and that's another thing. And I've been always playing with that, to be honest. Like, for example, when I go and play music, I usually have my hair open. I have like a cap on, like I'm having now. When I go like to open mic at Beach Dog, and I play music there. When I teach yoga, I have my hair tied up, no cap on. And very often people come to my class and then they come to Beach Dog and they don't notice it's the same person. But for me, it's like, I want them to find out it's the same person. It's just, for me, like trying to separate. There's like this Robert Busch thing where I'm an author, someone that played in a band, someone that's like this Robert, 35 years of Robert. And then there is like this offering of the Yogadude project, trying to make yoga accessible for people.
Hey,
that's a different topic, but we're the same.
You self-profess schizophrenic? Like, you do it on purpose? You have your different characters?
Yeah, even when you look at my Facebook, there's like Der Dude mit der Gitarre, which is my German musician page, like it means the dude with the guitar. Then there's Yogadude English. Then there's Robert Busch Author. Then there's my personal page. And so I'm like kind of trying to, because the main goal for me is like to diversify. So like, for example, my German show is not of interest for my English audience.
Right.
And also like the English conversation I'm having, for example, about conspiracy theories right now is not interesting to the German audience, because in Germany conspiracies are not as big. So I'm trying also when I play music with my friends here in Nosara and make a video and post it, not necessarily the yoga person wants to see me playing punk rock songs, just as the punk rock music fan does not want to do yoga with me. But sometimes it's overlapping, but I just want to make sure everybody kind of gets what they want and not molest people with stuff they don't want to see. So that's why I'm trying to separate this professional schizophrenic branding.
Well, hey man, I love it. That's also one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, is because I don't think, I think people know different versions of you. Some people know the musician, some people know the author, some people know the yoga dude, and some people like me, I just met you just walking around surfing periodically, and we just kind of became friends. I didn't know anything about you.
Some people, like a very lovely person that took my yoga class I became friends with, she once told me she knew me as the surfer that's always super upset when he doesn't catch the wave. Because you might have seen it, like I always paddle, and when I don't get it, I'm like, damn it, hitting the water, which is obviously not the yoga dude identity there. Because I'm like a fiery person. So like some people know me as the surfing guy that gets angry once in a while. Sorry for that. Like, I don't mean to get angry. It's just like I have this passionate side in me, and I need like all those like places where they come out, and surfing is one of them.
Dude, maybe that's your next book is hypocrisy between yoga and surfing, missing the wave and getting ticked off, and then going in and doing some chants.
My biggest worry is always my horror scenario. It happened once, actually, like only once, that I'm in the morning upset with someone for dropping on me, getting in an argument in the water, and then that person walks up in my yoga class 2 hours later. You know, it happened once. Like, that's like, but we both was a cool dude. And I was just like starting it off and was like, dude, we met this morning early on. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. It was like in the moment of the action. I hope you can be cool with that. And he was laughing and it was all good, you know, like it was a good reaction.
So you explained to him quickly that there's many layers of you. There's angry you, there's peaceful you, there's musician you, and so forth.
Basically there's only one me, and that's like my authentic self. It's just, I learned over the course of the years that not everyone can deal with my authentic self. So I'm like trying to give it out, like just in the doses that people can take. I don't want to like offend anyone. Like, I don't want to like upset anyone, you know, like that's not my goal. And sometimes I fail on that. I have to admit that. Sometimes like people like get like a part that they might have not wanted to know about, but that's also part of it. And they can make up their mind themselves. Just being authentic is like, for me, the only thing, because I'm a lazy person, and making up stories and lying and all that, that's too much work. I don't like that.
I got you. So Robert, you and I have had some interesting talks in your podcast that eventually we'll release once we get enough time to edit it all. We talked a lot about food and whatnot. So I'm interested in knowing what's your take on food right now? Because you had some interesting perspectives last time we had a chat about it.
Yeah, so there's like two main things I would like to share. First thing is for me it was always important like to support local. So I was like recently like ordering food like spatial cinnamon buns. They were delicious, and I was having food from Pizza Lily's in town. I was having food from Chivo, and I know there's many other great places I might not know about. And I think it's very important to support those businesses at this time because we want them to be able to reopen once this is over. So it's kind of our community effort, maybe even if we can make food at home, to just once in a while order some to support the businesses of the people we care for, our community. So that's something I would like to encourage. That's number one. And number two is in the interview, I was stating that I think there's more important things than being vegetarian to save the world. And I would like to take that back because I've been having a back and forth relationship as we spoke in the interview. I used to be vegan for like a few months when I started doing yoga. I was vegetarian for some time. Then I was like a dairy eating vegetarian. So I was like having a dairy but no meat. Then I had some time where I had only meat but no dairy. So I kind of tried all of it. And at some point when I started traveling 5 years ago to Morocco and then to Costa Rica, I decided for myself, because I was working in environments where I was like given the food to like just eat anything that's presented to me again, and kind of excuse myself by saying, oh, Morocco, Costa Rica, it's not like mass animal farming like it is maybe in Germany or in the US. So I kind of created an excuse for myself. And right now I'm still working on that because I have to admit it's not easy. I grew up eating meat. My grandmother in Bulgaria had a farm where she had her own animals that she was like eating in winter. So I have a connection with meat where I feel it can be done responsibly. But I also have to admit what we are doing as humanity today has nothing to do with what my grandmother did on her farm in Bulgaria. It's a whole different ball game. And this mass animal farming leads to many problems. When we look at the 2009 pandemic with the swine flu, that didn't go that big. When we look at today, we have to admit fingers are pointing all in the same direction. And it might be bats in China. It might be a swine farm somewhere in the US that's caused swine flu. So there's different origins, but they all seem to be related. Also like this bird flu, like always with animals being kept in close space together. And then there's an outbreak that transmits from the animal to the human. So I feel if the choice is now between living in social distancing quarantine forever or getting forced vaccinations, if the other option would be just not eating meat, then maybe that's the right thing to do. So I kind of learned about that and maybe change my mind a little, and we'll be working on my personal life choices for that.
All right. So to say that back in just a sentence or two, you're saying you're heading back the vegetarian way.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But it will, like, I'm honest, like, it will take time. Like, for me, vegan is difficult. I have to admit, I love cheese. You know, I grew up in Europe. We have cheese, all that stuff. I'm not doing yogurt anymore and that stuff. But cheese, for me, is like almost a spiritual thing. You know, like, it's very difficult to not have cheese.
Hey, there's your next song. You can write a song about cheese.
It's a spiritual thing. Yeah, right? I like cheese, but I understand that eating meat might be something that's not a wise choice and maybe a cognitive dissonance on my side. I'm not perfect. I have my flaws. I do many things that are not healthy. I'm trying to be as healthy and trying to inspire people to be healthy. But as I said before, being authentic is the most important thing. So like, you will never see me like saying I'm vegan and then eating meat in secret, like some vegans do. And I know that as a meat eater.
You're saying you're trying to head that way. You're working on it.
I'm trying to work to do it. But if I fail, I will admit it. Because I feel many people that they're going down a road and then it's like people coming up, they say like, oh, I don't smoke. And then it's always that person coming up, bumping a smoke from you, you know, like, so you don't know, you know, like there's some people that don't do something, but if you're like eating meat, you notice, oh, those are the people that ask you for a bite sometimes.
I got you. Hey, what else are you working on? What else are you working on besides transferring over to being a vegetarian or vegan? What else are you working on personally for you right now?
Yeah, personally for me, like I rediscover my own yoga practice, because it's one thing when you teach like 10 classes. I was like 9 or 10 classes a week before it stopped, and then sometimes I really don't find the time like to do another hour. So I do that on my free days. So now every day is a free day, and so I have more time for that. So that's really nice to reconnect with that. That's why I'm feeling actually much more relaxed and better than before. On the other side, I have to admit my fitness, like my pure fitness levels, Like if the beach is open tomorrow again and there's big waves, I might want to do a few push-ups before. You know, I was doing a lot of meditating and breath work and all that, but I feel like my arms, like I will need a few days to get back into the surfing. Like I definitely gained, like I had the problem that my board shorts were slipping all the time and I'm wearing 29s normally. That problem's gone. Like they perfectly fit again.
That's funny. I'm heading the other direction. I'm getting smaller.
Really?
Oh yeah. I've been using this time. I've been using this time to lose a lot of weight and just focus on my fitness. So since your last podcast when we talked, I'm probably down 22 pounds, I think, as of today. So
that's great, man. So then I would like to use the chance. I mean, we've been talking about that, like about my classes on the Harmony Healing Center page. Maybe for you, this is a time where you can check out some yoga. And it's not only me. Like we got other people every day. So if you feel like tuning in or anybody watching us, it's not only about me. Like there's other great teachers. Please check out that offering. Like we all appreciate that a lot. And it helps us making that content if somebody watches it. I mean, same for you, I guess. It's always encouraging to see people being interested.
Me, I'm just trying to kind of tell the stories of what's going on around here and what people are really thinking. And I'm trying to bust through the social media version of Nosara in people's lives. I'm really tired of that. I'm over it. So through discussions like this, somebody just got to know you. They just heard your authenticity and heard your voice and heard what you're really like. But I'm not trying to target the world. I'm just trying to enjoy my life here a bit more, quite frankly.
Yeah, I think that's something that's really important because now we're at a test as a community because everybody that's still here, it kind of feels like rainy season, you know, like this feeling in October. Everybody you see somewhere, you know, okay, they are down with Nosara. They are always here. Like everyone you see in January, they might be gone in February, but now it's that situation just with good weather. I mean, it rained a little now, but it's still sunny. So I feel like now it's really like everybody that stayed here is kind of also sending a message by that. Like when Germany offered rescue flights, I was not even thinking for a second about signing up for those rescue flights. Like not a split second, because I was like, why would I do that to myself?
Interesting perspective. So you're glad that you're here. Lots of stuff going on. You're busy. You sound great. I appreciate you coming on. Hey, is there anything you want to get out there or anything funny you want to say before we wrap this up?
Yeah, like one thing for me that really matters that I made on my Yogadude Facebook page a lot of content about is for me like a deep worry. We talked about in our long podcast, I studied political science and I had some troubles in my life when I was fading into the world of conspiracies as a young man. And I can just share with everyone, I went down that road 15 years ago. It took 2 years of therapy to get out of it. And I know how fast that goes. I know how awesome people that I'm friends with, awesome people I respect, awesome teachers that are out there are right now vulnerable for those conspiracies because they might not be used to follow media or news and all those topics. And so sometimes I feel like they're getting manipulated into something that they don't agree with fully, but then they still share it on their pages. And there are like some things like this Dr. Shiva guy, then this Out of the Shadows documentary some people might have seen. I think that's like manipulation, unfortunately at its best, great productions. And I see many lovely, intelligent, smart people I care for falling for that. And I want to warn them and have a deeper look at that stuff and just ask yourself, who is giving me that information? Why are they doing that? Why are they funding it? And do I want to be on their side or not? Everybody can still decide for themselves, but I just want to leave it out there. Just think about who are you supporting by sharing Q stuff.
Well, hey, fair enough, man. We're going to have a conspiracy podcast at some point soon.
Can't wait for that, man.
People from each side ask to come on. So that when all this stuff passes, we'll do it. And
yeah, man.
Yeah. So hey, thanks for the update. It's good to hear from you. Your voice sounds good. I'm glad that you're happy. I'm glad you're busy. Sounds like your attitude's fantastic. And yeah, man, it'd be great to have you on.
Thanks, Richard. And hope to see you surfing again soon. I hope there's a petition out there, I heard, like for allowing surfing again.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. It's not my first matter, like not the most important thing, but it would be nice. So let's have that as a light at the end of the tunnel. I want to high five you in the water.
Yeah. Right now, I'm also just super thankful we don't have any confirmed cases of COVID here, and we all should be giving thanks for that. And so that preventing that from happening here is more important than surfing at this moment.
Absolutely.
In my opinion. And believe me, I moved here because of the surf. So
Same here.
I think the town, the jobs, the economic recovery, everyone's better off if we can avoid a significant outbreak. And I'm real proud that we haven't so far. So knock on some wood. Let's hope it stays that way. Thank you.
Thank you
for being interesting. And I still want you to go write a punk rock chant type song. And then what did I say your song name was earlier? I forgot.
Cheese is a
Cheese.
spiritual thing.
So you can lead off some of your yoga classes for metalheads with your cheese mantra.
I will get at it.
Enough of my nonsense. Thanks for coming on, buddy. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Talk to you soon.